Hi everybody, it's time for another field trip to a garden center. Today I'm going out west, about 30-minute drive from my home in Baltimore, to Sun Nursery, which is out in western Howard County, Maryland. And on the way, I love going out to this nursery because on the way there's a Sonic drive-in and I love to stop in and get my cherry limeade. I'm gonna head out to Sun Nursery after I have my lunch here, and we'll look around and see what they have going on at that garden center. It's one of my favorites, and I'm hoping you'll come along with me. Okay, we are here at Sun Nurseries. They are a local grower. They, I think they grow almost all of their plants. I do think they bring in a few from other growers, but they have another farm out in Carroll County where they grow almost all of the stuff that they sell. They are really big. I think there's 22 acres in this growing center here. And then I don't know how big their Carroll County farm is, but they have a huge variety of shrubs, trees, evergreens, and deciduous. They have, I think, 4 or 5 hoop houses of perennials in the height of the season. They probably don't have that many right now. And they have a smattering of annuals, but annuals are not why we come here. We come here for the trees and shrubs, and they have this very large selection of locally grown things. So you can be sure that if they sell it here, it will grow in the local area. So that's why I love it. It's a local family. They've owned it for several years. And so let's go take a look. Behind me is the area where they have a lot of their deciduous trees. They've got them planted out there, and if you want to buy any of those, you go out there and you tag them, and then they dig them out for you and deliver them to you as a balled and burlapped tree. And then on the other side of the building, which we're going to go into this way, is where they have the ones that are planted up in pots for you to buy, the smaller ones. So here's the building. This nursery focuses on all the plants that they sell. The indoor part is, they have some things, some supplies. That's not their main focus, though. Their main focus is the garden plants, trees, shrubs, perennials, and a few annuals that they sell outside. We've got a few racks of cold hardy annuals and strawberries.
Plastic lid down?
Yes. These are pretty. Okay, so here we are outside. This is the map of these 22 acres. You can see the stores right here in the center, and then all of this back here is full of plants for sale. It is a really large, beautiful property. So what we're here today looking for are ideas for evergreens to put in the back of our backyard, down by the fence, to do screening and beautification of that fence. So that's our plan. So, I mean, all of this is filled with shrubs of all different kinds. And so we're just going to take a nice mosey walk around the whole property. Let's see what we can find. I'm definitely interested in some junipers because I like juniper berries at the holidays. But I'm not sure that Blue Star is the one I want, although they do have a lot of them. This is Viridis Juniper, and it says it does sun to part shade, gets 1 to 2 feet tall, 3 to 4 feet wide. I believe I have 2 of these in my backyard already. Mine tend to be more blue, like this one, and less green like that one. But I've never seen any berries on these. If in fact this is what I have, which I think it is. So I don't think this is the one I want either. One of the things that I love about this nursery is that it very, very helpful employees. I was just approached by one of the employees asking if I needed any help, and we talked about these junipers and which of these get berries on them and which of them don't. And so now I know that the sea green junipers do get berries on them, and the gray owl, and the old gold, and the other one down on the end that I can't remember what its name is, but it's okay because I don't like the way it looks anyway. So yeah, so I have a lot of choices. I would like to get some junipers that I can take cuttings of at Christmas time and bring them inside for my holiday decorating. So I do have a lot of choices. The other thing about junipers is all of these varieties, you can either choose to prune them like this and make them look a little bit more formal, a little more kempt, or you can leave them wild, whatever their nature is, which generally have these, you know, spiky looking branches. And I think what I'll be doing with mine is leaving them more like this, because this would look more natural if I cut them with their berries on them and brought them inside at the holidays. So that's good to know. Something I'm considering for screening in the backyard down by the fence are these yew shrubs, Hicksii or Texas Media Hicksii. So let's take a look. These are sold in 3-gallon pots, and they're columnar. They it says they get to 5 feet tall, but actually they get up to 10 or 12 feet tall eventually. And so this says the 10-year size is 5 feet tall, 3 feet wide, but I do know that they will go taller than that if you train them. So Hicksii is one that I'm considering for the screening. And if you kind of look down this way and kind of imagine these bigger and taller and thicker, you can kind of envision what that might look like. Nice big evergreen hedge. Here we have some upright junipers, and we might be choosing some of these just for accent pieces as we develop the way the backyard is going to look. Blue point juniper is a great one for our area. The deer don't bother it, and it's you know, nice and tall and thin, and it fits into nice places, and it gives a vertical element and a little bit of a blue color in your landscape. Here's a bigger one, so you can kind of see the small ones. These will eventually grow to be this size. Down this way, this is called Hollywood juniper. It's got a little bit more of a wild look to it, a little less formal looking. Here's a Robusta green. Oh, look at these berries. Those berries are almost black. That's really interesting. Let's see, what is this? Yeah, this is the Robusta green. That's interesting looking. It's kind of windblown and looks like it belongs on the seaside, doesn't it? It's kind of a twirly kind of a branch habit. And here, look at this interesting coloration on the berries. I don't think I'll choose this one for my yard actually, because while it is covered with berries, I would want to be able to bring these indoors, and I feel like if I trimmed this off and took it inside, it would dramatically change the shape of the plant. Filling up the perennial gardens. Down there is their working greenhouses, hoop houses, and then right up here in front of me are the hoop houses where they do their sales from. Here's an entire hoop house full of hollies. We'll take a look through here and see what we can find. Red Sprite Winterberry holly, not evergreen as you can see. This is a tiny, tiny, tiny leaf. This is what I think of when I think of holly leaves. That's a really pretty texture, I feel like. Red beauty. Very nice. 7 feet tall, 4 feet wide. There's some bird's nest spruce mixed into the hollies here. What's on this side? Dragon Lady. These are a little bit less full and taller and thinner, looks like. Oh, look, the barberries they've got. It's state law in Maryland that barberries are an invasive species. This is Dragon Lady again. Yep. So let's have a really interesting look to them. They've got a little bit of a white trunk that shows through, and the leaves do give off this kind of light green edge and center to it. So it has a little bit of an outlined effect on each of those leaves, which is almost variegated, but not quite. It's pretty. There are a few Dragon Ladies that have all grown up. That's what they look like if they get a little bit bigger. Here's my blue mist shrub. I have some of those. Inkberry hollies, I've had those before. Beauty berries, I love beauty berries. I have one in my yard. Gembox inkberry holly. American beautyberry. I think that's actually the one I have, this Calicarpa americana. Shamrock inkberry, I've had these before in a different house. Those are really nice shrubs, actually. Nice evergreens. Chased tree, we have one of those. We've got some sweet spire. I think I do want to get some sweet spire. They're very fragrant and they're shade tolerant, so what's not to love? Another shrub I think I might want. This is a Dotsia. And I have a Dotsia. I have one of the low grower, the 1 foot tall ones, but it's just really not impressive. But this one is supposed to get up to 5 or 6 feet tall, and it's pink instead of white, so this one might be on my list. I do think I want to get a Pyrus, and I'm just not sure which one. We've got several to choose from here. There's the one over here that's more, what is this one? Prelude. This is a dwarf one. Only gets to be 1.5 feet high. Oh, that's about as big as it'll get, apparently. Over here we have one that's more rosy colored. It's called Dorothy Wyckoff. This has got this profusion of rosy sprays of blossoms. It's gonna look great in a couple of weeks when they're all open. And then there's other kinds too. Like, let's see, what's this? This is still Prelude, little dwarf whitish one. What's this one? I mean, these are nice mature plants. Look how big that trunk is. There's some new growth right there. This is called Mountain Fire. Gets to be 4 to 5 feet tall and 4 feet wide. The word fire in it leads me to believe it's got red or pink, and also I am seeing red or pink, so it's not quite sure when those open up what color they'll be. Here we go, is a picture of Mountain Fire. So its new growth is red leaves and its flowers are white. That is very pretty. Maybe that one. I like the red leaves coming out. Over here we have Cavitine. This is a dwarf one. Only gets 1.5 feet tall, 2 feet wide. Again, these look like they're full size then. Here's one called Valley Valentine. It's going to have even more droopy flower tendrils. Very droopy. That's really interesting looking, isn't it? Look at that. Pink, ropey, droppy. Maybe Valley Valentine. Although, as you can see from the price, it is one of the more rare ones. $90 for this. Maybe I won't get the Valley Valentine. Here's a smaller one for $40. Maybe I'll go that way with it. I do like that, the habit of those flowers. Very droopy. Here's a plant that I'm considering for screening in the backyard. This would not be a hedge type though. I probably would just do like a specimen, 1 or 2 of these. These are eastern hemlocks. They can get 10 to 15 feet tall, 4 to 6 feet wide, but you can keep them pruned to keep their size in check. But these are such a pretty texture. A little bit on the yellowish side of green, really soft texture. I like that a lot. So that's on my list. There's some of the same plant, just in smaller pots for a cheaper price. So some of these haven't been topped yet, so like this one, you could let this grow, this leader, you could let it grow up a little bit taller, whereas this one's had its leader cut. And so it's more of a short one. So you can make a choice whether you want the leader to be tall, like that one there, or whether you want it already to be cut off. Time's getting away from me here. I could spend a really long time walking up and down every single one of these aisles, looking at every single kind of plant that they offer. And I might still do that, but I don't think that makes for compelling video. So I'm gonna just continue walking through, and if something catches my eye that's worth telling you about, I'll turn the camera back on. But let me just get back to browsing here. I walked precisely, I don't know, 20 feet from where I last said that I was gonna turn the camera off until I found something worth talking about, but I have. Let's look. This is a 9-bark, Diablo 9-bark, but it's trained in a standard. Look at that. There's 2 of them here. You can see the gorgeous trunk with the peeling bark, which is one of the most appealing things about a 9-bark, is its bark on its trunk. And then it's got this nice mass of leaf foliage up there that'll be coming soon. And this one looks like this. It's got red leaves. Can you see that? A little hard to see. There we go. Red leaves, reddish pink berries, and it's a tree form. So I am really tempted by this. The only reason I wouldn't take these home right now is because of that. But I mean, it's a reasonable price. You just have to be willing to pay it. And I'm just not sure where I would put them. I want to have my plan together a little bit more, but just knowing that they exist in tree form is a really, really good thing to know. I found some more standard things that might be great additions to the garden. Let's look. Here's a standard hydrangea, pink diamond. Look at those. Ah, look at those flowers. It's crazy. And then look at this huge trunk. It's got all this lichen or mossy stuff. I'm not sure what that is growing on it, but it looks wonderful. It's aged. This is a really mature plant. And then its leaf canopy is about 3 feet in diameter. I mean, that's just beautiful. Once you get it out of its can and put it into the ground, it would be about 4 feet tall. And you could underplant it with low growing stuff. Wow, how pretty would that be? And then, okay, hold that thought. There's another standard hydrangea over here. This one's called Phantom. It's got more pure white flowers on it, paniculata style. And this one is a younger plant, you can tell, because its trunk is a lot thinner. But then its leaf canopy is currently pruned to about 1.5 feet in diameter. It would, you know, of course, put out new branches and things. So there's 3 of these here. And then there's just one of this other one down here. Oh, I really want it, but I don't know where I would put it. And so I'm using restraint. I will definitely be getting at least one, maybe more than one, a Limelight Hydrangea this year. I'd never had one before, and I definitely want one. I think I'm going to put it in the corner fence area of the backyard. Here's one I definitely want to put somewhere in my yard. Not sure where. I really want a snowball viburnum. Doesn't look like much right now, but look what it would do. Oh, so pretty. The green giant arborvitaes are the plant that my tree guys who took down the trees in the backyard recommended that we put back there to do screening from our neighbors. The problem with green giants is that they, if you don't prune them regularly, then they can get to be 60 feet tall. So I don't think we can put a 60-foot tall thing back there because of the power lines. Now, you could prune them and keep them shorter, keep them like 15 or 20 feet tall, but then you've got an annual job at least once a year, maybe more, of pruning those evergreen hedges and keeping them under, you know, whatever height you need them to be. So I am not sure that green giants are what we want. However, they are deer resistant and they do fill in really nicely. Here, let's take a look at what they look like. So these are all green giant arborvitaes, and these are the shorter ones. These are like 4 feet tall, and then over here we've got some that are bigger. These are like 5 or 6 feet tall so far, and I think planted out over there in the ground we've got some other ones as well. So yeah, this would work. I mean, they are very pretty plants. They do get to be really lush, big, nice, beautiful screening. But I just don't think that I want to be committing to a pruning job every year, trying to keep them under control. Even if I did want them to be 15 feet tall, that's pruning a top of a hedge that's 15 feet tall. Who wants to do that? Not me. So green giant arborvitaes, not what I'm looking for. The decorative spruces or cedars, weeping styles, the zigzaggy styles. You can train these somewhat flexibly and they'll do whatever you ask them to do, pretty much within reason. So we might end up getting one of these as kind of an accent plant, but I don't know, maybe this is even a little bit too much. Ooh, that's a big nice one though. Imagine if you had like a water feature and then that drooped over the water. Wouldn't that be pretty? Oh my. And then over here, these are a nice style as well. Kind of tall, skinny things. These are the glauca, Cedrus atlantica glauca. And they're kind of like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree, a little bit. There's one that's bigger. They have a really tall, skinny, architectural look to them. I like them a lot. I'm going to take a walk through the perennial hoop houses now. I would say they're only about half full of what they will be in a few weeks' time. But just let's go see what they have. If you like Heucheras, this is a great place to come. They have a lot of varieties, like from here all the way down to the other end of this hoop house. These are all Heucheras, and there are more over on the other side too. Lots of choices. Look at the color varieties that you can see. It's a really nice selection. I was just walking down through here and I was looking out through this fence over at their production greenhouses, and here's one in particular. It's just so beautiful. I cannot wait to come back here in a month or so and see all these plants out for sale on the property. Look at that, it's chock full of beautiful plants. I see red twig dogwoods in there, in amongst the evergreens. It's just so beautiful. And then in here, there's more that are, you know, they haven't leafed out yet, but look at all the potential in there. Oh, just look, oh gosh. So beautiful, I cannot wait. It is almost time, folks. I think I might try some climbing hydrangeas this year to cover the chain link fence. Here's a really nice one. It's got lots and lots of vines coming up. It's a woody vine, but they're still flexible enough that you could train them up onto the fence. So this might be living in my garden sometime this year, something like that. Here's their other climbing hydrangea that they have, and it's got a pink flower on it instead of white. So this might be another good choice. And then there's a third one, Red Rhapsody. So we'll just have to see. Here's a fourth one. This is actually the climbing hydrangea. The others were Japanese hydrangeas. So not quite the same plant, but similar in look and feel. And these all look really vigorous too. So yeah, maybe we'll be taking one or two of these home today. Not today, but soon. I would like to try to find a way to put some wisteria in my garden. But I know that wisteria really need to have very, very, very strong supports. So right now, I don't have anything that could possibly serve as a support for wisteria, but I am scheming about an arbor or a trellis or a pergola. So we'll see. But yeah, I'd really love to have a wisteria. Nearing the end, I've gotten around to pretty much everything outside that I wanted to look at, but these little guys caught my eye. Aren't they sweet? Aren't they just the sweetest little guys, little bunnies? Yeah, so if somebody's looking to buy me a gift, that could work. A little bunny statuary, or here's a different style. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having that. Another one. He's cute too. Oh, these little guys. They're sweet. Or this little bunny planter. That's very cute. Yeah, I wouldn't turn down a bunny. That was a really fun trip through the garden center today. It's so nice to get out, see what plants are coming along, and be inspired for the coming growing season. I just can't wait for the weather to be really, truly planting season. So I, of course, did find some things to pick up and bring home with me inside. So let me show you what I've got. Getting a start on my foundational needs, just, you know, different things that I know I'm going to need during the season. Rose tone, it's just about time to start fertilizing roses the first time in the season. Biotone starter, this is for when I put new plants into the ground this year, which I will definitely be doing. And then Hollytone, and this will feed my azaleas, rhododendrons, and my hardy evergreens. So I've got myself set up for my first round of fertilizing this spring. And then of course, oh gosh, you know, you walk by the displays of all of these summer flower bulbs and corms and root balls and things like that, and I just can't say no. So I've got 8 columbines. My plan is to put these into pots and grow them up under my lights or maybe outside once the weather turns warm enough. And then I might take them to Minnesota and drop them off at my kid's house up there. We were just talking about columbines the other day. Let's see, I've got some Siberian iris. I've got a globe thistle. I've never grown that before. That gets to be about 3 feet tall. So I'm eager to see what this does. Ranunculus, or Persian buttercups is the common name for them, I guess. So a mix of colors there, and some freesias. I've never grown either one of these, so that'll be an interesting thing. I picked up some grass seed, just a small little bag of it. This is just so that I can do some Easter basket projects with that, like I saw on Linda Vader's YouTube channel the other day. Of course, look, seeds. Okay, so I'm going to blame this on the Impatient Gardener because this morning she put out her sweet pea guide and I was inspired to try sweet peas for the first time. So I got some of those and a cardinal vine. So we'll see how those go. And then the last thing I grabbed at the checkout stand was this information sheet about their landscape design services. So you can see what their prices are. It starts at $100 and goes up to $1,200 or more, depending on what you're asking them to do. And then that's for a plan. And then if all you want is consultation, then they'll come out to your house for $50 for the first half hour, $25 for each additional 15 minutes, and they'll consult with you on site. They won't draw you a plan or anything, but they might mark out or, mark the ground or go around with you and talk about what to put where. So I might end up doing that for my backyard project. I'm not sure. I kind of want to see what I can think of on my own, but this might be something that I do. And then the last thing I did is I asked them if they would deliver to me. They have in the past, but that was 4 or 5 years ago. And they told me they would deliver to me for $40 if it's in March or for $75 if it's in April or May. So that means I better get my act together and get my plan and get my plants purchased if I choose to buy them here, because it's quite a bit less expensive to have the delivery happen in March. So that'll maybe light a fire under my plans. So that's my trip to the garden center today, folks. And thanks so much for joining me. I was driving home and I was passing by this Ace Hardware on my way home, and so I thought I would stop in there and see what their gardening tools look like, because I am in the market for a new shovel and maybe a limb saw, a pruning saw. So let me go see what they have in here. All right, so I had a successful trip to the hardware store. Let me show you what I got. Apparently my camera skills failed me because I ended up not capturing video when I talked to you about what I got from the Ace Hardware. But I did find a shovel that has a half long handle with a grip at the top of it, so that's good. I got a pruning saw that folds in half for storage. I got some soil test kits and some tree support rings, some African violet food, and a packet of lettuce seeds because I cannot get enough seed starting going on this year. So overall, it was a really great day here. The weather is in the low 50s. It's bright, sunny blue sky, a light breeze. Just wonderful to be outside and be inspired. Pick up a few things to get started on the season with the gardening, and just head into the gardening season feet first. So I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thanks so much for joining me on my field trip to the garden center with a bonus stop at Ace Hardware. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, friends, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.